Hello, team. Welcome to episode 11, season 1 of Creative English, the US of 5A. Today, we will be talking a little bit about some travel situations, trying to prepare for places where you might feel a little bit uncomfortable, where you might need to practice a little bit before they actually happen. And my dad was here for the week, so the warm up was to prepare a question for an American. He's like American, go Trump style American. So he answered some questions for us on the podcast. I will need to edit this PDF to the link of his podcast. You will see where the questions were asked. But you can still prepare a question. What would you like to ask an American? You can ask me. I'll answer it. It'll be fine. But objective number one, uncomfortable situations. Um, I am a big proponent of uncomfortable situations. I think they are where we grow. But if we can always come a little bit prepared to these situations. Some of these were places where my students said they have felt uncomfortable speaking English. The X-ray, anything involving airport really that's a stressful place. When you disagree with what someone says, meeting new people, you can feel a little bit awkward. This can be awkward in our first language. Imagine a second language. Describing your feeling at what you are feeling adequately. I thought that was an interesting one. That was Miss Simone. Talking to people who speak better English. Well, this is an interesting one. Well, me as an English teacher, I can tell you when somebody is defined as speaking better English, they start to feel uncomfortable. So if you are talking to someone who speaks better English, you can comment on it. They will grow conscious of it, and you will feel more comfortable. You can turn the tables. You did pull the old English judo. Talking on the phone. This was Miss Olivia. Sometimes it can be hard to understand what people are saying if you cannot see them. This is true. Not just in English, in any language. Speaking with French people, but I think they meant different accents. There are a lot of difficult accents. I can attest to that. Um, the Eastern European accents, the Indian accent can be a little bit more difficult to understand. Scottish accent. Oh my God. When I went to Scotland, I was like, is that really English? Are you sure? It was incredibly difficult to understand. Asking for help. Some people don't like to ask for help. They say that men don't like to ask for help or directions. So maybe there'll be double difficult in a different language. Exchanging money. If money is involved, it can be a little bit tense. Speaking with a spouse. This one is interesting. I have taught more than one couple who I have never seen speak English in front of each other. It is good to identify whether you feel more uncomfortable speaking in front of familiar or unfamiliar people. For me, it's definitely familiar people. No matter what I'm doing, I can be like drinking water. If Patricia is watching, I'll like spill it on me. That's one of the great parts of marriage. So identify whether you are more uncomfortable speaking with strangers or in front of familiar people, because there are both types. So some travel role play. This one you will need a partner. There's no way to role play by yourself. But I gave 3 examples. One was customs. Customs or immigration. It's usually a pretty stressful place. Some questions you might get asked right here. Ordering food. Everybody eats. There's no way you will ever travel without eating, unless you're one of those super monks who live off of air. Shout out to Paulo, who I think tried that once. It did not go well. He eats a lot. But here is a Chinese food restaurant if you want to use it for some inspiration. I always miss New York Chinese food. It's just something, I don't know what it is, but there's something different about it. Asking for information. If you are traveling, you will probably be asking for information, whether it be from the hotel, your friends, a stranger. So be prepared. I always like to use as a reference, could you, may I? It will resolve a lot of the politeness questions. Could you show me this? Could you tell me where this is? Could you help me with something? May I ask you a question? May I have a glass of water? May I use the bathroom? So if you use the could you, may I as a reference, you really can't go wrong with the politeness factor. Some conversation starters. Let me pick a good one. Number 8, because I did this one. My father was here a couple weeks ago, and we talked about places he would like to go. And it's always good to ask what the person likes. And in his case, we went to different places here, but his favorite was Serra de Cipó. Not exactly our city, but it's close to Belo Horizonte. And he said even the air tasted better. But here in Belo Horizonte, you can go to like Mercado Novo, Mercado Central. They're both pretty cool. Praça do Papa, Pope Square. You get a great view of the city. We went to an all-you-can-eat barbecue place. We went to, it was Baby Beef. We loved that as well. So there are a lot of options. Mineirão, that's going to be for the next one. Well, Mineirão has become like an event place instead of a stadium. So we might have to go to Independência, but a soccer game. That would be a great place to take somebody here in Belo Horizonte. Pampulha Lake. Lots of great options. So how about you? Where would you take somebody in your city? If you were playing host to a tourist, where would you go? Some vocab words. Customs, another way of saying immigration. Ameliorate, to make better. Comes from the same origin, the Latin origin, as our melhorar, probably melhorare or something, I'm guessing. But it is a word that maybe Brazilians or Portuguese speakers would feel more comfortable using than many Americans. It's not a common word in English. So ameliorate, so you can make your English a little bit richer. So your challenge, 50 states to choose from. Here is a list of things to do in the United States. And if you were going to travel there, where would you go? Where would you like to see? What would you like to do? And if you're not interested in going to the US, it's understandable. There's a lot of other cool places that might be higher on your list. You can pick somewhere else as well. I put this one here that has some examples from the US, also from the world, but make your list, make your travel itinerary. Where would you like to go? Team, that's it. Like always, thank you, and I hope to see you in class.